Well, Dan, we're here again.
Here again.
Joint venture with Palladium and BBS Films. Dan Portick. You're the man, dude.
Come on, man.
Oh, God bless you. And we got Eddie over there.
Eddie.
Shotgun
Eddie's
Eddie. What's going on, Shotgun? That's my new nickname for him. I love him. He's the best. That said, we talk about fear. Fear. All kinds of fear, Dan.
That's true.
Fear of failure, fear of success, fear of communication, fear of whatever. I mean, fear of how people perceive you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Fear of not being popular. Is that an old term? You know what I mean?
Fear of doing a podcast.
Yeah, fear of doing a podcast. So what do we do with that fear? How do we overcome it?
Yeah, you know what? I think the first thing that needs to be done when you have that situation or you feel uncomfortable doing something is figure out what kind of fear you have.
Sure.
And there's several types. Fear of success.
Yeah.
Fear of failure is one, but fear of success is a real big thing. If you get successful at what you do, oh my God, I got to be in front of more people.
Sure.
I have to make more decisions.
Right.
And which really all boils down to fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
Everything boils down to the fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
And it's just a stigma, it's just an emotional feeling you have.
Sure.
Friend of mine and mentor Tom Hopkins, he would always say, do what you fear most.
Sure.
No matter what. He goes, that's what you have to learn to do in your life.
Yep.
And it's, of course, one of the hardest things to do. you know?
And I'm living proof of that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because I led in 4 sports in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And my worst sport and my most fearful sport was wrestling.
Really?
Oh, God, yeah. Well, think about it. You're out there, nobody to hide with.
Yeah, right.
Okay, nobody to blame but you. And if you mess up, you get pretty embarrassed.
Oh, yeah.
Because you get your ass pinned, right?
In front of everybody.
In front of everybody.
Yeah.
In a singlet, no least. You know what I mean? Right. So, I gravitated towards that.
Yeah.
I said, I got to conquer this, or at least get my arms around it.
Right.
And then when I got in the business world, I hated making phone calls.
Yeah.
I was that baby boomer that didn't want to make phone calls.
The 100-pound phone.
Yeah. And I said, screw it. When I started my first business at 29 years old, I started with a card table, my parents' basement, and a phone, and a landline, and a phone book. And I said, let's go. Yeah. And I just challenged myself. Yeah. And then the last fear that I've had in business is not the fear of numbers, but the fear of, and it wasn't even a fear. It's just, I just wasn't good at reading a P&L, understanding line items, valuation. And I said, screw it. I got to educate myself. I got to get at least some seminal knowledge about this.
Yeah, right.
And now I'm okay.
Yeah.
I really understand it. And I could talk the talk. No, I'm not a CPA, but so I think that I challenge myself to do that.
Yeah, and you know what? It's funny. If you look at the millennials now and the kids that are younger, I think they have this stigma and they're concerned about taking really big steps. Wait, don't take big steps. The way to solve this is just small steps.
Sure.
Start with little things. Walk outside your door if you have a phobia. Just go a little farther if you have a fear of being outside or whatever it might be. Mm-hmm. Each day do a little more, and eventually you'll be doing a lot. Yeah. Is the way I looked at it.
Yeah, all phobias definitely are conquerable.
Yes.
But you're right. A lot of times you have to take baby steps.
Yeah.
Okay. But the key to it is that you have to do it. You have to do something.
Yes.
Okay. You can't just sit there in a pool of sweat. It's just, because it's stifling.
Right. And a lot of people will, fill that gap with alcohol, drugs, whatever it might be.
Video games.
Yes.
Anything to hide behind the barrier of real life.
Yes. Yeah. And that's a very real thing and hard to get around.
Yeah. Because you're going to get arrows in the back, particularly my most favorite, and it is a famous saying, is "The Man in the Arena" by Teddy Roosevelt.
Never heard that.
Oh my God. You got to look it up.
Okay.
The Man in the Arena. And he talks about the man who takes, or the woman who takes the chance to put themselves out there, to go into the arena, okay, and to be criticized and to be vilified, but ultimately whether they win or lose, they've done it.
Yes.
They've taken the chance. Now, my advice is to take a calculated chance, one that you have really researched, but go and do it. I'm doing this right now with my food company.
Yeah.
Okay. Avocado Goodness. It's today, 1 year we're into this thing, and we're very close. Matter of fact, I'm going on to Mexico to meet with my manufacturer to get shelf ready samples. And our goal is to be on the shelf in January.
Wow. Okay.
So 2 months from now.
And you took that just from an idea.
My own kitchen recipes. I can make better guacamole.
There you go.
Italian Armenian's going to make better guacamole. All right. God bless. Right. But I did it.
Nice.
Right. And so at the end of the day, I've gotten a lot of arrows in the back, a lot of rejection. People telling me, yeah, you really don't know what you're doing. And blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden I knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
And then I knew what I was doing because they told me I didn't know what I was doing. Okay. You tell me I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to go find out how to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the other thing too. And the beauty of this generation and generations coming up is the access to immediate knowledge of best practices.
Yeah.
Particularly with AI. Think about this.
Oh, that's unbelievable with AI.
I mean, like my wife's daughter got married in September. She wanted to write a mother of the bride, speech.
Yeah.
AI wrote 90% of it for her.
Yeah.
And brought her to tears.
Wow.
Brought her to tears. Now think about that. The immediacy of knowledge of best practices. Okay. And we're able to now get shelf, to give you an example on this, we can get shelf stable product, okay, of guacamole for 45 days because of pressure packaging.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, it existed, but it doesn't exist like this because of technology over the last couple of years. So what's happening is they don't, this generation doesn't understand what's out there for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're insanely fortunate.
And the only thing that's stopping them is fear and themselves. And you see that more and more.
Absolutely.
It's crazy.
Absolutely. So do something.
Yes.
Just
do something.
Do it.
Just do it. Just do
Nike
anything.
Yeah.
That's the good takeaway for this. I mean, it's one of those things that you have to start somewhere. You have to make an effort, but you have to know what your fear is, and you have to slowly overcome it if you're that kind of person. Some people can just jump in. I was the type that just 100 phone calls a day, you just do it and make sure rejection isn't rejection.
No.
It is simply a way.
It's an education.
It's an education.
Yep.
Once you see that way, things start changing.
What not to do.
Yeah.
What not to do and do it better.
Right. Exactly.
And the other thing, I think you should reward yourself when you do something that was fearful for you.
Yeah.
Give yourself a little pat on the back.
Yeah.
Love yourself. Because ultimately, fear comes from self-loathing.
Yes. I know somebody that would buy a new Cadillac every year if they were the top salesman.
Sure.
And
Why not?
They would just do it. And it made them feel good going to work every day. And it just reinforced their positive, attitude about themselves.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what? The other thing is, one more, I'll take it even a step further. Do something nice for somebody else.
Yes.
When you have succeeded, for whatever reason, just call somebody up and say, hey, I want to take you to lunch.
Yeah.
Or grab a coffee or something and just do something nice for them.
Yeah.
That'll
help you grow.
There's where, okay, I overcame my fear. And now I can even feel much better about my altruistic self.
That's right. That's exactly
giving
right.
of myself. So anyhow, that's my thought.
Very good. So if you're going to have fears, this is how you overcome it. And we appreciate you being here, Peter, and working with us on this series. And we'll look forward to our next one soon.
My pleasure, Danny.
Thank you, sir.
You're the best, brother.
All right,
Thank you
too.
so much. Peace, guys.
Bye-bye.